What's up, y'all? This is Henny. Listen, it's time to dive in and give you my thoughts and recommendations on this past iPhone fall event. You know it happens every year. You know I get hyped every year. We got to talk about the products that were announced, my thoughts on them, and what I recommend to myself and to you all. Let's get into it right now. Let's go!
The business.
First things first was the Apple Watches, all the new upgrades to the Apple Watch ecosystem. Here are my thoughts on those.
See, now with all Apple events, I'm usually pretty hyped because, I know they're going to drop something that's going to get me pretty much inspired to get into that wallet and drop that money down. You know what I'm talking about. But after thinking about it year after year, trying to figure out what products actually make sense, I really sat to think and be objective about, what's going to be worth it for me this year. Like many people have said, you don't really have to buy an Apple Watch every year at all, right? I'm still rocking the S6, and it's doing me well, has no blemishes on it. It's a good Apple Watch. What would it take for me to upgrade? So I looked at everything. Of course, I would not get the SE because I like the durability of either the S7s, the S6, the S8s, the glass on those. But then comes the Apple Watch Ultra. And I'm sitting there like, this looks intriguing, right? It's going to be very tough, very durable, has a new design, but it's bigger, it's bulkier. And, I wear my Apple Watch for everything. So for me, my recommendation to myself is I don't need that. That's not something that I would use. And even at the price point of $799, I think that's a great price point for something that extreme of a watch that you might need. But I don't think it fits the everyday use case that most people use their Apple Watch for. So unless you have, an Apple Watch that's 4 or 5 years old, doesn't really hold the battery charge anymore, I don't think you need to upgrade at all. Nothing too drastic in my book to warrant like an immediate purchase for the new Apple Watches. This is my recommendation.
Next up is the new AirPods Pro. They say it's rebuilt from the sound up. Let's talk about it. Here are my thoughts and my recommendations.
The next thing we saw was the new AirPod Pros, right? AirPod Pro 2, AirPods Pro 2. I never know what to say. If you still have your original AirPods, if you still have your original AirPod Pros, they're still keeping it charged. So still doing what they need to do for you every day. I do not see the need to really, pour your money into something like the new ones. Of course, they're going to have better noise cancellation, right? They got a better case for you to be able to make sure you don't lose said AirPods. And then also, it has better battery life. And of course, it'll probably have some better sound. But if everything is still working right now for you with your AirPods, with your AirPod Pros, I don't see the reason to upgrade just yet. I have the original AirPod Pros. I've had mine fixed maybe 3 times already because of noise and crackling issues in the ear canal part. And they still work fine. I don't need to upgrade right now. It wasn't that drastic enough of a change. That's how I feel about the AirPods. It's up to you to decide.
And now we got to talk about the new iPhone 14s. The iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 Plus, the iPhone 14 Pro, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Let's talk about the iPhone 14s. Here are my thoughts and my recommendations.
And then we get to the new iPhones, the iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 Plus, the iPhone 14 Pro, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. iPhones are something that I've had almost every iteration of each iPhone since the original, since 2007. So this is something that I clearly do every year. And for somebody like myself, even if I wasn't doing YouTube, it's just something that I want. And that's okay. If you can budget for it, if that's something that you do, by all means, do what you do. It brings you a little piece of happiness every year. So let's be real. The iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 Plus, they're basically the iPhone 13 Pro repackaged. So that's the same chip, basically the same cameras. Of course, there's some new updates to the technology in these cameras with the 14 and the 14 Plus. Um, but if you can find a used 13 Pro and still get that, that telephoto lens and still, you know, get the build quality of a pro camera, I would say look for used, refurbished, whatever 13 Pro, 13 Pro Max. You probably save a little bit and you'd get just as good of a phone. Um, but that's just what I'm thinking. See, there's some incremental updates that make the 14 worthwhile for a lot of people. If you've only maybe you have an iPhone 10, maybe you have an iPhone 11. You're not really getting the battery life. I think that's one of the most biggest upgrades to somebody who needs to, get the 14 is the fact that the 14 and the 14 Plus specifically has one of the best battery lives in an iPhone, period. So if you're somebody who is constantly needing to charge their phone, you're out on the go a lot, you're not always next to a charger. And if you have a phone that's 3 or 4 years old, that 14 Plus is going to hold you down for a while. I think that's my biggest recommendation for somebody who wants a 14 and they're looking for that extremely good battery life.
And now here are my thoughts and recommendations on the iPhone 14 Pros. Take it away.
Now, the iPhone 14 Pro, listen, I'm excited about this one just a little bit. It's mainly for the video and photography upgrades, and that is something that I'm hype about, actually. The new 48 megapixel sensor on the main lens, the main camera, I think that's really cool. I've been using a lot of my iPhone 13 in Pro RAW mode this year. And I've taken some really, really dope pictures. I'll show a few here. And just being able to tweak them and do things with them has shown me just how powerful the iPhone cameras have gotten, right? So the iPhone 14 Pro with the better sensor, the better camera, even the redesigned front-facing camera. I was looking for them to do that because it's been a while since they really upgraded the front-facing camera, and people use that so much. The fact that it now has autofocus, the fact that it has a faster lens, and now in video, the new action mode, being able to really catch a super stable video, similar to like what I'm doing here with this GoPro 10. I'm excited to see that because, as I'm doing these videos, if I'm making new content in this kind of relaxed environment, walking and talking with y'all, I want to be able to do things even easier. So if I can just use my phone, it'd be even better. I'm going to try it out. Y'all know that's coming. And then, I was really intrigued by cinematic mode last year. I think that is going to be the sleeper that most people, when they start to really use it to see how powerful that is, especially for delivering cool dynamic content that still kind of has that phone look, but still has a little bit of upgraded quality. I think that's what's needed. That's definitely what's needed for those who are focused on Reels, focusing on TikToks, because the more that you put that super high quality video up on Instagram, up on TikTok, it starts to look like an ad and people swipe away. So if you're doing this and you're a content creator and you're thinking about, the best ways to get dynamic, quality, cinema looking footage from, your phone or whatever, I like the idea that the new iPhone 14 Pro has the cinematic mode now in 4K. And I think it's going to be updated even better with the cinematic algorithm, if you can call it that, to be able to give it even smoother transitions, smoother fall off. And it's only going to get better over the years. So don't sleep on cinematic mode if that is something that you're into. But the 14 Pro is what I ordered. I ordered the gold. I ordered in 512 gigabytes. And so I'm going to be invested in that. And that is the only thing besides my wife's phone that I picked up from this year's event. So let me know if y'all been enjoying this type of content. I like doing this. Walking always kind of helps you get your thoughts out. And for anybody who doesn't know, I have never scripted any of my videos. So being able to just talk, and have conversation with you all is dope. My biggest thing now is to make sure that I'm not just pushing product on this channel. I think there's just such a obsessive culture to show you the latest and greatest and not really tell you how it works for them as the creator or the content creator. but just showing you products and telling you how excited they are about them. And then, within 2 to 3 weeks, everything becomes super normal. Half the products we don't use, and we're wasting somebody else's money thinking that we're using these things every day. So, the products that I show, the products that I talk about, I want to be as open and honest as possible. I want to make sure that I'm giving you my real thoughts about things and not just telling you go get gear, go get gear, go get services. So yeah, that is my ideas. Those are my thoughts and my recommendations on this year's Apple event, fall Apple event, iPhone Apple event. And how y'all doing? Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you like this. And of course, I'll be doing more, just having conversations with you all.
So that's pretty much it. That was the fall Apple event. We got the new iPhones, we got the new AirPods, we got the new Apple Watches. Man, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. You know how it is. I had to give you some of my thoughts and recommendations and what I think is worth it this year for myself and maybe possibly for you. Hope you guys are staying safe and staying healthy, and I will catch you next week. Hit 'em out!